Hi everyone, Jenna Kramer here, and today I want to show you one of my all-time favorite online annotating tools. It's called Scrible. So let me show you a little bit about it. It is not spelled like Scribble, although that is how you pronounce it according to the people who created this resource. So just as a reminder, it is spelled S-C-R-I-B-L-E. It is different than the normal spelling. So Scribble is really a great tool for your students to use as far as annotating online because of all the features and capabilities that it has. So it's really meant to be a tool for students to save, manage, and anything that they're doing on the web, they will be able to annotate it with this tool. So you can, after you make an account, you can save web pages for later, and you can also bookmark those websites in the cloud. The other thing that's nice is you can store files, and it's all going to be in your own library. So I can show you what that looks like from my end as well. Students will have the option to organize their library with tags. So if students use this in different classes, they might have different tags, one for English, one for social studies, etc. Or if they have a couple different projects going on, they might have a tag for their research project, that sort of thing. The other nice feature is that you can search the library. So if a student can't find something, there is that tool available to them as well. So really this is a great online tool for annotating articles in the browser. I'm going to show you the toolbar that comes along with Scribble so that it is really user-friendly for students. Students are going to make their comments directly on the web page, and they can share their annotated articles with you as the teacher, with other collaborators, different group members, that sort of thing. So there's a lot of different features that Scribble offers. So once you make an account and sign in, you can have it remember you. And if you need assistance with trying this out, you want to get signed up, you can ask Tyler or myself. One thing that I want to draw your attention to is there is an educator license, and it's free. You get a few more features, so make sure that you mark that you're an educator when you sign up. But this is what the library looks like, and you can see some of the different tagging features. I have a couple of different articles in my library right now. And just to play around with this, let's go to one of my favorite nonfiction article sites. I don't know if many of you know about New York Times has a resource intended for secondary students, and it's called 6 Cues About the News. So this is a website from the New York Times, and it's updated every day. So there's a new article every day, and it does some of the work for you as far as it comes up with some before reading activities. There's an extension question, and then there's the more generic who, what, where, when, why type questions, which are the 6 cues, and the whole reason why it's called that. So you can see some of the different articles. Let's use this article as an example. So to get to the text, I'm going to click on that, and you'll see that the New York Times, the 6 Cues About the News, one really great feature is the text features that come along with the articles, the visuals, the photographs. You can look and see that most of the photographs have captions as well. Sometimes there will also be a video text that's associated with the topic, so students can watch that as part of the previewing step in the annotating process. So you can see there's quite a few different visuals that go along with this article. So if we are going to look at the features of Scribble, you'll see that there's a Scribble toolbar that I downloaded, and it will pop up right within the window. And the two features that students will be using the most is the highlighting tool and the post-it note tool. So there are a few different options as far as colors. So depending on the task, you might assign students to highlight different things, different colors. So maybe all unfamiliar vocabulary, you want students to highlight in green, that sort of thing. For the note tool, there is, again, 4 different options. And I've seen students come up with their own color coding system. Maybe they want all of their connections to be pink and all of their questions to be yellow, that sort of thing. So you can play around with the color coding, assigning of roles. But just to show you the tools, let's say I wanted to highlight something. I click on the highlighting tool, and you actually have to choose the color. So if you want to do it that way, or you can also choose the color first, and then it will highlight as you go. And that's what it looks like. Once you hover over an annotation that you've made, maybe you want to change the color, you can do that pretty easily. And then the other option that I really like is if you wanted to attach a smaller note, you can do that pretty easily. Move the note wherever you want it, and you can really write out a descriptive annotation. So again, annotations are really just what students are thinking about as they're reading. And it's a great way for you as the teacher to see what they're taking from the article, what they're understanding, what their misconceptions might be. So if I'm asking a question, it can be something as simple as that. To minimize or make it smaller, you just click on that double square button, and you can see that it shows up down there. So if you use the add the note function from the toolbar, like I said, it's going to highlight or make a note on a chunk of text instead of just a small portion. So that's something to keep in mind too. So maybe I want to make a note about this. And if I want to move it so I can see it easier, I can do that. Whatever the kid's going to write. And then it'll show up kind of attached to that whole chunk of text. So as a reminder, if you are guiding students through an annotating task, there are some suggestions I have as far as how to set up that activity. So if you need a reminder about my suggestions, under the Strategies tab on my Lodi Literacy website, I have a handout, and maybe your students need the reminder of these are the steps that we really want you to focus on when annotating. And right now this is in a Word doc. If you hit Enable Editing, you can see what it looks like. So things to remember about why students need to be annotating, my 3 recommended steps, and then the different types of annotations that research says really help students comprehend and get out of an article what's important. So step 1 is really just encouraging the students to do a preview. Look at how is the text structured, how is it organized, looking at those text features, taking a moment to just look at the pictures and captions, maybe some bolded words, so that they have an opportunity to access any background knowledge they might have on that topic, make some connections as far as things that you might have talked about in class. That is all really important to the learning process. Step 2 is something that I recommend so that students really keep their stamina throughout the whole reading, because usually students start off really strong and then by the end their annotations aren't as in depth, mainly because the way that they are organizing their time. So if you encourage students to chunk the article, maybe it's only a couple paragraphs. That is a huge help, so that when students get to the end of the article, they have those annotations throughout. And they don't get to the end of the article and say, oh, what did I just read? I don't really know. It's just a really easy way to make sure that students keep their stamina throughout the whole article. And as students get older, they can determine where they want those stopping points to be. But the younger students probably will need your guidance as far as let's do it every paragraph, or let's do it at the headings, that sort of thing. And then lastly, students are just going to read that small chunk and try to do an annotation. And these are the 4 categories of annotations that I suggest. Either have the student write a summary, a question, a personal connection, or a connection to the previous lesson, or any connections that they have about academic things that they've learned in the past, that sort of thing. And then I find that having students take a moment to define an unfamiliar word, that can also be a really helpful annotation to help them comprehend the article. So that's just a refresher on annotating. And one thing that I wanted to show you as well is how to see that library once you've done some of those annotations. So it's as simple as clicking on this disk. You hit save. You can write comments. You can apply those tags if you have them. And all you have to do is hit save. And it will go straight to your library. And here's my new article. If I want to get back to it, I just click on it and it will save all of my annotations and comments. So that is a little bit about the online annotating tool Scrible. And if you would like to utilize this in your class and you want some more help on getting it up and running, please let me or Tyler know. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day.